Okay.
Donnell, do you know there's 2 Donnells today?
I'm trying to be like y'all, triplets. I think we are. Can someone check and make sure to see if we're live?
And Talmar, then we need to set up a Facebook Live for videoing.
We are Facebook Live right now on 1Million Cups Fairfax.
All
Okay,
right.
we are live.
Did anybody hit the record button yet?
No, hold on.
Oh, FYI, I just got an alert that there's a internet outage in my area. So far I'm connected, but just in case.
Check your phone. Maybe you might be able to connect with your phone, or you can use your phone hotspot.
Okay, I'm just letting you guys know.
Okay. And try the phone hotspot as well.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Laura, are you ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready. It's 9 o'clock. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm here in the outside of my house. This is Laura Drain. I work for Spring. I want asking you a favor to everybody. Could you please check in the app? That will help us to give away wonderful presents for everybody. So, next slide. Today, at the same time, around the United States, we have 160 people, chapters nationally, who work together today to help someone. It's important to be in this moment, in this hour that we get together. When you make comments, just help us to do better. Don't say anything that can offend anybody. Be respectful. Otherwise, you'll be anyhow. So it's important. 1Million Cups helps entrepreneurs to do better. So we're here to help anybody. We will asking you if you would like to share today meetings, and you can share via Facebook, Twitter. And if you want to invite other people to join us, will be wonderful. More people, more ideas, much better. If you have any feedback, just let us know. Also, I wanted to invite all the volunteers that we are part of the organization to raise your hand and say hi to everybody, so everybody knows who are the organizers.
Hey there, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
And I will say thank you to all the team that makes this possible. It's important to. So we have 2 sponsors. The first one is Office Evolution. That usually we be there in the wonderful office that they have. Is John there? Do you want to say something?
I think John is out this week, so I will speak to Office Evolution. Office Evolution is an office sharing space in Tyson's. They have a fabulous space where you can do virtual office where you just drop in, or you can have a physical office. They also have conference rooms, and they are normally where we host our 1Million Cups event. So huge thanks to John. If you are looking for office space or know someone who's looking for office space, definitely reach out. John owns this particular location in Tyson, so it's nice to have a business owner as your contact.
The second sponsor is Paychecks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Justin Wilson. I'm one of the organizers here and also your friendly neighborhood Paychecks rep. Paychecks is, if you haven't heard of it before, which I'm sure most of you have if you own a small business in Vienna, Tyson's, or anywhere around, we're a national group. And we help with, if you're paying somebody, basically we're able to help you. So we help with HR, 401k, payroll, insurance. There's like 95 ancillary products that we can help with. We always say yes. So if you guys have any questions or need any help with that, especially during COVID-19, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my info in the contact, and we're always here to help. So thanks.
Thank you, Justin. So next slide. We are asking you if you can please keep your microphones mute. We don't want to use like my parrot. It's making so many sounds. I came out to don't make noise, and now the birds are around. We will have somebody who will take the questions and then put your name. You have questions, you can just raise your hand and then somebody will reach you. Once you are the questions, unmute your phone and then mute it again. Thank you very much. Today we have a wonderful presentation. So with anything else, we have a boss actions today. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Talmar Anderson with Boss Actions, and I am really excited to be sharing our company's adventures and where we're going, as well as our question. I'm very grateful that you're here, and I'm really open to all feedback. We're constantly trying to serve our market and make sure that we're building and delivering the answers that are helpful. So your honest opinions and perspectives are greatly valued. So thank you again for being here. Tony? So my challenge question today is going to be, how can we best convey the concepts that one of our concepts that our business is built on, that the team is not just employees. Your team, especially for small business, includes vendors, independent contractors, and employees. And so it's a teaching moment for us, certainly, but we're trying to incorporate it into our messaging so that we can get to the wider expanse of small business owners that we can really affect change so significantly for. So that's going to be our challenge question. It's a concept that we teach, but we're trying to find messaging around how to convey that to the public at large. Thank you. So an introduction to Boss Actions. Boss Actions was founded actually just in January of 2018. It was a pivot from a previous company. We'll go over that in a minute. We are a hiring strategy and boss best practices consulting firm. We're often lumped in with coaches, which we are happy to be lumped in with. But the truth is, I'm too bossy to be a coach. You're supposed to let people find the answers. And so we've always been a consultancy. We're here to deliver answers and help people find out how to apply it to their own specific business needs. We work with our audience are established business owners with upward trending sales that are driven to scale outside of themselves. And I don't know if you had a chance to see the poll results that shows in the answer, because the answers that you guys, the two most voted for, one was that I want a personal life, right? They want to be outside of their business. And the other one was that they had growth opportunity. They needed support for growth. Your poll answers are on target with the markets that we've been working with. So I'm very grateful to find that out. Thank you, Tony. Okay, this is our timeline. So when I started out on my own, before I started out on my own, I worked for law firms. I was they called them firm administrators, but they're the business manager of law firms. And I went out on my own in 2011 as an operations consultant. I knew I wanted to work with small business because I love the ego and the drive and the excitement of what they do. And I knew that I could quickly and easily read into them the processes and systems that would help them affect change and scale and grow much faster. So after doing that for several years in 2017, a lot of people, when they think of operations consultant, they often would lump us in with business coaches, which was, again, fine. If that's, I would always, if they were more looking for accountability, that wasn't the thing we would offer. We would want to try to get them to a more traditional business coach. But if they were looking for true answers, process, and strategy, that was something we could deliver. So in 2017, there were a lot of changes going on in the business coaching market. So Boss Actions, we kind of sat back and I thought, okay, what is our distinguisher? We need to really be more stand out than this. So we did a case study of all of our clients over the last 7 years. And we found that whether somebody worked with us for 1 hour or 1 year, everyone had the same 2 questions. And those 2 questions were, how do I find good people? And the second one was, how do I fire them if they don't work out, right? Nobody liked firing. So we recognized that this was like across all industries and services, this whole function of knowing how to find out if somebody was going to be good when they were hiring them, as well as really getting more comfortable stepping into that boss role was an actual hole in the market. We were very surprised when we did our research that there wasn't a system or process that literally walked everybody through step by step. Government agencies like the SBA and organizations had done really great job of delivering answers if you knew the question. You could go learn how to find how to write a job description or a employment ad, but nobody really took the whole process. And so we were able to develop that in 2018. And that's when Boss Actions was officially founded in January of that year. And we took the year to develop the program, Escape the Hiring Loop, and make sure that it was something that was going to deliver on the answers. So then in 2019, we built the digital version of our signature program, which is Escape the Hiring Loop. In 2020, we launched a new program because while talking about scaling, which is often our market, they're ready to grow their business, we found a hole. So we created a new 8-week program that's about scalability. It's kind of a higher level mastermind type situation. Going into the fall, we'll be doing workshops for Escape the Hiring Loop. We have them starting at the end of October, one in November and one in December throughout the country. And then in 2021, we're looking at licensing our signature program, which is Escape the Hiring Loop. That's the program that starts from, I think I need to hire, and walks them through step by step, the whole process, all the way to the first 6 weeks of hiring, as well as there's management in the course. So our target market are established business owners with trending sales. Our initial target is those that have tried hiring in the past with disappointing results. They are frustrated, or they were disappointed. They put a lot of hope in somebody that ended up moving on. Our second market is the people that have never hired for their own company, but they want to do it right. There's a contingency of people that really are like, if I'm going to do this, I want to learn it right from the beginning. And so that's our secondary market. And our third market is companies that are really getting strategic about their organizational structure. They understand they need to move outside of Tony and Talmar and Justin doing their jobs to CEO, CMO, and a customer service person, right? And so they understand that it's time to structure the organization. Thank you, Tony. All right, so here's to our question. When people think of the word team, they think of an organizational chart like this, right? This is the first thing that comes to mind. There's a CEO and a director of marketing and your accounting and so on and so forth. However, this is the way it really looks, Tony. So when you start your own business, you might have one employee, maybe it's an assistant. And so you have your employees, and these are people that are direct report to you. Tony? Then we ask you to start looking outside of that, because really you're probably working with some independent contractors, somebody you might bring in for the deliverable side, say a roofer that you work with or you use when you need extra overrun, or you might have a content writer if you're a marketing company when you have a special project. So you have to consider your employees and your independent contractors, but your team is actually bigger than that. Tony? Your team actually also includes your vendors. How many small business owners start working with a bookkeeper right away, or they get a social media person, a company to help them, and they're not considering these people as someone that they should be vetting and managing. And that's where small business gets really bogged down. Anyone that you would let in your company influence how you run your business, how your clients are served, or the way you structure your company absolutely is a part of your team and should be part of your hiring vetting process as well as your management process. And so that's where our question stems from today. Tony. So I turn it over to you. I know I spoke very quickly, but I was trying to give you as much information as I could. So as far as Boss Actions is concerned, your team is anyone a boss allows to influence, represent, or affect how you grow and your business delivers for your clients. So we're trying to find a messaging statement that will be more specific and succinct rather than creating this teaching moment, which I've taken today to use in my presentation. Thank you very much.
Awesome job presenting. Thank you, Talmar. Before we jump into providing feedback, I'm going to launch one more poll. We'll take about 30 seconds. If you guys can all chime in on how did you develop your own hiring skills, and pick the one that is most relevant.
Also, don't forget everybody to sign into the app. There's still 6 of you who have not signed in, and I will not say another word about it for the rest of the time.
I will place a bet on that and we'll see what happens. All right.
That's because he tasked me out to say something.
Oh, right. He delegated. Okay. So we have a few more people who need to vote, and then I'll close polling and share the results. All right. So sharing the poll results. The number one, how did you develop your own hiring skills? Figured it out on my own. A tie for second, business coach and other. So if it is other, please place your comments in chat. I know for some folks, the answer was all of the above.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to stop the share results. So what we'll do now is we will move into Q&A. So for folks who maybe this is probably not your first time on Zoom, but please use the raise your hand function in Zoom, or you can drop a comment in chat and we will work hard to make sure we're staying on top of questions. So again, the challenge question from Talmar is how best to message this notion that small business owners have an extended team that they should be vetting when they're using their hiring process. What is that short, sweet message that would resonate with you as you think about hiring challenges? What would resonate with you from a messaging standpoint? So, Dan Linder, I don't know if that's an applause or you're raising your hand, but I'll take it as raising your hand. Go ahead.
Well, it's applause for you, Jen, but it's a question for Talmar as well.
Nice job.
So in my corporate life, we would sell a project to a big enterprise organization, and they would spend millions of dollars, and they would pay our consultants a lot of money per hour. But then when they would have team building activities or any kind of fun day kind of thing that whatever they named their activity, they would exclude our consultants. And so it would be because it was all about money. They didn't want to spend the money. So what are your thoughts on, because I'm guessing that's what most business owners are going to be concerned about is, the money. Am I going to spend money teaching someone who's not part of my organization, who's going to leave? And so is this an ROI discussion that you work with them on the bigger picture so they understand that versus very looking at the tactical short-term money? Does that make sense?
I think I understand the question, and correct me if I do not. So we do not, first of all, we work with small business exclusively. Predominantly under 2 million is our first level.
I was just using the big companies as an example.
Yeah. So to your point though, the consultant is the IC. And so it does depend on the function that we're advising our clients about. We don't really work with team building events per se. What we're really at is we're at the structure of working with the business owners and the CEOs and the C-level team to teach them that when they're creating those events, if you really want a team, you need to be managing your ICs, your consultants, just like you would all of your employees. That's how you get the cohesion. So I am trying to affect change at that fundamental beginning level when they're learning how to regard their team. And so how can we best, without having to sit down and explain it to them in a 10-minute presentation, how can we best articulate that your team is everybody that influences your business, everybody that touches it and works for it, and that absolutely includes your consultants. So did I answer the question?
Yeah, I guess a thought that I had there was most business owners, whether it's I use the team activity or the team building activity, whatever, part of the team is what I'm thinking. Most business people will just see the metrics and they'll see the number of the cost of including the time spent on the independent contractor, whatever. So, and they probably don't have an understanding on the whole big picture, which is much more difficult to put a number on. But that to me is where they have to see the value. So I guess that's the suggestion, is that
I like it.
To see the value versus just seeing the money they spend on having the independent contractor as part of their team.
So the value of the inclusion of everybody. I like that a lot.
Exactly, in the bigger picture.
Excellent. So I'm going to have Rosemary, then Katie, then Robin. Rosemary, go ahead.
Good morning, Talmar.
Good morning, Rosemary. It's a little hard to hear you. I'm going to lean in.
Okay, I'm going to lean in too. I'm not sure what's up with my mic. Great presentation. I know you do a lot with outreach, social media, emails, and the like. I think it would be awesome if you could take the word team and for each letter, make a mnemonic, like E would be employee, but T might be a temp, right? So you change TEAM into the concept of employees, vendors, ICs, etc.
Gold stuff. Seriously, that's exactly what I should be doing, Rosemary.
And then focus some of your emailing and your webinars and your communications. Pick a letter. And, you know, you're very creative with the messaging and the outreach. And I think if you can, I've run advertising groups, I've run marketing departments. I am the least creative person in that room. I can't tell you what the TEAM is, except E should be employee.
No,
But you know, if you go down, that's my early morning recommendation and feedback for you.
Thank you so much. That's a rock star.
Thank you, Rosemary. And Katie, if you want to unmute yourself as well.
I suppose. So I guess in an effort to help ask this question, or just to clarify a little bit further, Tal, my question is, what have you found to be the difficulties in communicating this concept so far?
Excellent question. The issue is that people hear the word that they can learn how to hire and they think they're not, oh, I don't need that yet. I don't have employees, but they'll have 10 independent contractors and 6 vendors. And if they're not managing that and vetting those people like employees, they're significantly injuring their business.
Okay, so if that's the case, it's going, I second Rosemary's idea of using your educational pieces when you do your Boss Muse. And again, like Rosemary, I'm out for the fancy marketing stuff, although I think miscellaneous employees are 1099s, right? So that might work.
That would be, they would be ICs, independent contractors.
That's all I got. No I in team. But my point is that using your Boss Muse to start talking about your team, right? Because we all do consider our 1099s to be a part of our team, even if we don't think about it from the hiring perspective. So starting with an educational piece, and it wouldn't at that point need to be so in your face as to, so this is what I'm talking about when I say team, people.
Yeah, I like it.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie and Robin.
Good morning, Talmar. Long time no see.
Maybe.
So kind of along
with here. Rehan needs you. Rehan needs you. He's on this call. Sorry, go ahead.
Kind of along the same kind of track of questions. What is the value proposition of considering all of these components of the team? So what is your messaging around that, and how can you pick out those pieces to bring your conveyance, I guess is my question.
Is that a question or telling me just to quantify?
So what is the what is the messaging around the ROI for doing this? Why is this important?
Yeah, you know, and it's something that I don't have a metric to. It more is the benefits are personal ease and less stress. Certainly there's a scalability model. It's just not a number. It's so specific to each individual that I haven't been able to find a metric around it. It's got to be out there. It's not my zone of genius. So I will get more, because it's already the second time I've heard that we're going to have to find a way to get that into people.
Yeah, because there has to be a consequence to not managing vendors and ICs as part of your whole team.
Well, at minimum, it'll be employee turnover, which if you're, if you're not learning how to hire, every time you have to work with a recruiter or temp agency, it's costing you anywhere from $8,000, $20,000 and up. It's 20% of their salary every time they need to hire a new person that turns over because the team doesn't work.
And I would think also that it's a detriment to your business. If you're not managing a vendor properly as part of your overall concept, then they could be doing something way off point, right?
Yes.
Of your business. So
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We have lots of benefits down that. It's the quantitative side that we've been a little weak. And so I like the press to keep looking for those. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
And Natasha, if you want to unmute and ask your question.
Okay, so my name is Natasha. I'm a small business owner, and I actually fall into that category where I have vendors and but I don't have employees. So my question is, when you set up the organizational chart, would each member of the team know one another? Would you publish that organizational chart out to everyone?
I think it's in your benefit for them to know I don't know if it's publishing an organizational chart, but certainly it's always to your benefit to have everybody working together as a team. Now, I understand that not every vendor is accessible or involved. A bookkeeper might only work directly with the CEO once a month for 2 hours or 6 hours, but and that you would still consider having them at a party if they had any connection to anyone outside of just you. But at the minimum, as a CEO, you want to be touching, and by touching in an appropriate way, calling and having meetings so that you can stay in touch with them, find out how their business is doing, make sure that they're still in line with where your business is going, ask them for what they see so they know where your company's trending. You want to be in front of and managing them as much as you would an employee, differently, but you still have to do it consistently. And it's in the selection process of your vendors and independent contractors that you can really make sure you're bringing on the kind of people that will work best for your audience, and the kind of people that will work best with the whole team. Now, if they're all silos and they don't work together all the time, it's more important that you have that connection with them. But there is a direct connection to tenure, how long somebody will stay with you, and loyalty, the quality of work they will do if the team is connected. So I absolutely encourage you to get them together and get to know each other and like each other.
Thank you, ma'am. I will
So
be.
let's keep our questions moving and try to keep our answers nice and short. Sharon, if you would go next.
I don't have a question. I've got a suggestion though, and I'll try and keep it brief. I totally buy into what you're saying, Talmar. That's the way I've run my business for the past 20 years. And I don't have any employees like Natasha, but I definitely have a few vendors and subcontractors. And I think it's really important as a small business owner, and I'm speaking to you as a small business owner, Talmar, to project the idea of your business size, because some clients can be hesitant to work with someone that they think is just them. A lot of people come to me and they say, oh, is it just you? And if I know if I say yes, they're going to be scared that I can't take on the work. And so I don't say that. I say, no, I have a team of people that I work with, and they help me in all the things that I'm not fantastic at. So that's how I bring that in. So I don't tell them I have a team of 20. I don't tell them I have a team of 2. I just tell them I have a team. And so I'm saying that in your messaging, you, Talmar, your messaging, I know that you have that as a business owner yourself. And so speaking to this group of people that you work with in the way that you want your clients to be speaking about their teams, I think will also help you get the point across that you might think it's just Talmar, but I rely on this team of people. Are you doing this in your business? If not, let me help you with that.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And Deb Cohen.
Good morning, everyone. Talmar, great presentation. Thanks so much, as always. And I love your concept because you're absolutely right. It is a team. So this is sort of a question/comment. What's your product? What is it that you're selling? Are you selling your services as a consultant? Are you doing training? Are you going in and actually recruiting and hiring people or vetting the vendors? Or are you doing some combination of all of the above? Because the answer to the question of, how do we present this really depends on what it is you're trying to do. What are you selling and how are you going into a business? And it could be that you're doing, one third, depending upon what it is. So can you talk a little bit about the context?
Absolutely. So our signature program is available on demand online. It starts at $2,000. That's for the do-it-yourself type person. It's more of a consultant. It's a learned skill, is actually the words that my clients have fed into us, is that they're learning the skill of identifying what their companies need so they can hire in world-class teams, is how they're talking about it. So it's a step-by-step program they can go through online. We also offer the program in workshops, which are 1 and 2 day workshops where they learn the whole system in a day. And then there's also one-on-one work where somebody can work directly with me over a 4-month period. And we walk them through a real-world experience We do not hire for people. We are not recruiters. We are helping business owners and CEOs understand and develop their own skill of hiring and managing their own teams so that they will have something they can carry forward and use for the rest of their days.
So it sounds to me like what you're talking about really is an assessment. You are helping people develop a way to assess who they are, what they need, and what they want to do. And so
It's
the word
actually
assessment,
it's less of an assessment. There are assessment components. It is actually the step-by-step process of hiring.
Right.
It is like I think I need to hire, do this, do this, do this, and it walks you all the way through identifying, attracting the right people for you, your team, and your audience or your market, and then also the vetting process, making people prove they're worthy of working for you and your clients, and it's the whole process through 6 weeks of onboarding as well.
so it sounds to me like you're talking about development and assessment. And the reason why I emphasize the word assessment, even though yours is not a true assessment, which is fine,
yeah,
you're still helping people to assess and develop their own system.
Yes, we could say that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Deb, for the comment. And Tony.
Okay, so I'll try to make this quick, and it may be seeming obvious, Talmar, but ever since you first described your company to me way back when we first had that day-long session together,
yeah,
it struck me then, and I didn't say anything now, and it dawned on me during this presentation. In one word, what is the outcome that your clients get?
Freedom.
Okay, because I have a different word.
Okay.
Confidence.
That's actually a word they say back to me.
Yes, because that's ultimately how you can package this all together. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're doing is you're selling confidence in knowing the vendors, the contractors, the employees are the right decisions.
Love it.
Because that's the one thing of every business owner I've ever met when they're, and I'm the same thing when I had my IT company, is I had no confidence in anything I was doing. And if there's someone there to sit there and show me the way to do it and do it right, or at least be confident that the decisions I was making were the right ones, that would alleviate so much stress and pressure.
That's exactly the feedback from all of our clients. All our testimonials say exactly that sort of thing.
That's it. Confidence. Yeah.
Love it.
That's what you're selling. Confidence.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. That was nice and relatively brief for Tony. So good job. Way to go. John Rittenberg, you're up.
Tony, I'll shield you. I'll go longer just to make
him look good.
Shorter. Hey, Talmar, thank you so much. That was excellent. Really enjoyed it. I was kind of analyzing like Tony, but I came up with a different word. And my suggestion is asking your clients, because you asked us what's your messaging, what should your messaging be? Ask your clients who defines their reputation. And it's certainly your colleagues. I refer to my independent contractors as colleagues or my team. I don't really specify, oh, Mary's an independent contractor. And my independent contractors work together. I hope there are no lawyers who are going to tell me I'm part-time employees, but putting that aside. But reputation is what an image is so critical. So I saw that as a great question to lead your messaging with.
Excellent. Thank you, John. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Oh, that was awesome. Russ McIntosh. Go ahead, Russ.
Yeah, I just wanted I was making a comment on the vendors, ICSs, and employees. Just my company, Vision Idea Design, we fill those three needs for the teams we work for. Patriots Pub and Grill, I was just on a radio station the other day talking about the good things they did with the COVID quarantine. And I'm their visual brand identity person. I'm their visual person, yet here I am on the radio speaking on their behalf for them. And then there's other times that people come at us as just needing a vendor. They just need a logo, something simple. And then there's other times where the ICSs, like me and Sharon, are working together as a team on a government project together. And we're both 1099s, but yet we're still on the same team trying to help this one organization be better. So we all fall in those different spots, even with our own companies. So it was just a
Excellent
comment I was
point.
making.
I like it. It goes up and down. I like that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Talmar,
Rob.
I think the comment I would have is how are you scaling your team confidently, your people, right? And rethinking who your team is. I was trying to think of the costs of hiring that you're not thinking about, right? Because there are a lot of costs, and reframing the conversation so that there's the actual monetary cost, there's reputation implications, customer experience implications, expectations and accountability setting so that your vendors know what you actually are expecting. So I think there's some mental model or framework that you could have, some visual. Maybe it's a Venn diagram. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Ben loves a good Venn diagram. I don't know. If
I do. But because this is also educating people on what hiring means, that it's bigger than just your first W-2.
Yes.
You're hiring the moment you work with someone else, you're hiring someone.
Thank you very much.
Other questions from folks, please drop a question in chat or raise your hand in Zoom. And Katie thinks freedom through education, creating confidence for growth.
I always just say freedom of time and money. That's the benefit. But that doesn't address the messaging of the complete team.
Absolutely. Any other comments or thoughts or questions? Because we have a lot of people.
Yeah, actually, on that last point, Talmar, this is Deb. I think it's not just freedom, but I also think it's control, which is what.
Well, and we have started, our messaging has started shifting to control, because that's what the benefit is, if you have the right people, you have much more control over it. Things are predictable and you understand where things are going, and you can count on people because we have the right people in the right places, right?
Of course.
Control has been a part of our messaging this year. And so we're still figuring out how that's hitting, but thank you. That's perfect.
And freedom is a slippery slope using that word, because, it connotates, success, and a lot of people don't feel that they're necessarily free until they're successful.
Well, and that is true. Our messaging, it's interesting because you say the word success. Our messaging has been about, you will get success once you have the right team, which leads to freedom of time and money. But the truth of the matter is, the majority of our market is having success in their sales. Our sales are trending up. So whether they see themselves as ultimately successful, they are in a process of success. And so we're having a hard time trying to decide how to position the success in that. Are you feeling success and you want more, or are you trying to get to success? And that's kind of our confusion right now.
Melinda, you've been waiting forever. Thank you for being patient.
You're welcome. Great presentation, number one.
Thank you, Melinda.
When I define a team, and I do it strategically when I go into the process of planning your marketing for the year and your strategic planning, you're missing the customer. You're missing that they really are part of your team and define who you are too. It's, businesses that you want to hang around. And I think by incorporating the customer, it's going to also define your message, because probably what all of your team has in common is that they're focused on similar customers. Or they've got the experience that in another industry that you want to use to bring to their customers in their industry, or whatever it might be. As I kept looking at it, and I wrote down team as a word to define too, and I started playing with it. In the very beginning, it was a brilliant concept that we looked at earlier. But as I said, part of the team, and when I've done these strategy sessions with my clients, I usually have members of their sales organization, members of, depending upon how big the company is, obviously, members of production, somebody like the CFO or the controller, and then I bring in customers, because customers know what they want, they know what they need, and you get a lot out of it, and it really defines the organization a little bit more of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, and I will tell you that in our process, we do address that when they are going through the program. The program does teach them that anyone they're hiring, they actually have to vet whether or not they like the people you work for, right? You have to vet whether people like the market you're serving, and it's a piece that a lot of business owners miss when they're hiring. So thank you.
Welcome.
Talmar, first of all, great presentation.
Thanks, Donna.
I liked how it was succinct, and you got right to the point on what you offer. I think the only thing that you do need help with is what you asked for is messaging. And so here's my 2 cents.
Bring it.
Boss action turns chaos into cash flow by aligning time, money, and effort. And then,
okay, sorry.
And then you could put in there, most small businesses lose between $1,500 to $2,000 a year in the hiring process.
Yeah, I saw your note on that. That's good. Well, and so with regard to overall on the company on boss actions, our messaging, our actual tagline is a boss provides the tools, the team builds success. And then we have a secondary level, which is scale on purpose. Those are actually the ones we want. We're just trying to, I'm keeping everything you said, Donnell. The thing we can't figure out is how to get this one concept into our messaging correctly. It's all about the team and how we get people to think bigger on the team. And so
think more about the outcome that they get.
Yeah.
Because they're really not thinking of, they're thinking about the team, but what does the team provide, right?
Yeah.
How does that team get them to the result?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. What would you be without them? I love that.
Exactly, because when you go to Safeway and buy something, you're not really worried about the team. You're worried about how does my customer get the product more efficiently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so
I like that. More stuff while I'm in the store.
I love it. Thank you, Donnell. I very much appreciate that.
We have 2 more questions, Deb.
Yeah, quick question, Talmar. So how interactive is your program? Is it just take it at home and in the office and do it, or is there interaction with you giving advice?
It depends on how they engage. They have options for do it themselves, and they have options for one-on-one work over a 4-month period. But the program itself has a back end that allows access to office hours once a month. So there is always an opportunity for a little bit of interaction, but it scales up depending on which program they sign up for.
So why don't you suggest to folks that they add you to their team?
Okay. I see where you're going.
Okay. So you now
I would tell you that's how
your team, and we'll help you be more effective.
Yeah. And I will tell you that is exactly how they think of me as a part of their team. So right. I do like that. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Talmar, one thing I want to point out that Tony threw into comments, which I think is extremely spot on, is team has its own implications. People think of team and they think of the people they've hired, W-2s. They rarely associate vendor as part of their team, I think. And so Tony was throwing out the idea of a coalition. Maybe it's your, who's your squad, who's part of your lineup when you deliver value to customers. But maybe think of other words that might resonate more, because team also can be confusing. Teresa, you're up.
So yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. So are you trying to say like boss actions is going to be part of your team, or maybe I was kind of thinking, or if you want team to kind of be part of like how you get clients and people to kind of be able to convey your message, maybe make team into what you provide, right? Have it be that acronym of, time, energy, actions to create money, or whatever it is, right?
Well, and our intention,
something that just makes it a little bit clear as to the different options, because then, I don't know, just kind of spitballing.
No, I love it. Our intention behind the team message specifically is less about the sale and more about the self-identification. It's a true marketing function. We want them to self-identify as somebody that could consider the need of hiring, and they could be improving their business right now if they don't wait until they need full-time employees. That's really it's slowing their growth, and it's slowing their possibilities, and it's making everything much more stressful and harder than it needs to be. So we're trying to find a messaging to allow people that will self-identify more quickly as, oh, I can take control of this now before I have employees. And so that's the function. We're trying to use it more in the marketing lead magnet self-identification function, as opposed to the sales function, which would be positioning us as part of their team. And I appreciate that. And I'm definitely taking all the notes, because girlfriend can always use more sales. But
yeah, I'm just thinking, then if you want it to kind of be a marketing tool, then have team tie into the things that you provide.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I like it.
That acronym. Right. So you're going to provide people with time
as a way for them to see it again.
As a way for them to see why they need to look at, right, vendors or independent contractors or part-time employees, or right, they'll get time, they'll get energy, because they'll take the actions to give them more money. Right.
I like it. I like it.
That's all I was thinking.
Thank you, Teresa. That was
awesome.
Thank you,
Teresa.
So one thing I was thinking about is along the same lines of the last few questions. I think you're really focusing on redefining what team means. And I think what's confusing me a little bit is you're still using language like hiring and scaling up. And to me, those sort of, they all kind of bring to mind like, oh, I need more employees, like my company payroll needs to grow. But maybe, I don't have any good suggestions, but if you could think about different ways that you could talk about what you're actually doing, or talk about how how team includes the outside vendors and independent contractors as well. I had another question: is would you include things like software tools into your team? Because I think once you kind of know.
I would leave that. Not that if people ask me about it, certainly I'll refer it. But what I remind them is that's part of their operations, their actual business side of business, and they're better served working with business coaches and actual, software or systems automations people. I really am talking about the people side of business. And I just want business owners to understand there's a resource that can help them, as Tony said, build confidence in their decisions of the people they're surrounding themselves with. And the fact that they're not considering independent contractors and vendors as something they have control over who they let in, and vetting them and making them really prove that they're on line with where they're going. They are limiting and actually hurting their business growth and success. Does that make sense?
One more thing. I love Deb's idea of saying that you're going to be part of their team, because I think it makes it really clear that they're not hiring you as an employee, but you as an outside vendor. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I like it.
I think there's some other, thank you, Phyllis, other words like who do you collaborate with, right? Who are your partners? Who are your allies? Who's delivering value for your clients? And do you really know what they're doing? Just trying to think of other synonyms for team that would help expand how people think about it. All right, so this has been awesome. Please make sure to drop your name and email and info into chat. You can click on the three dots and save the chat in case you want to capture all those notes. You can actually do that yourself. Talmar, any last parting thoughts that you want to share with the group? You've been fantastic. This has been a great conversation today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. Please, if you have any other thoughts, at the very top of the chat is all of my contact information. Please don't be shy. I really welcome all your input. This has been so helpful, and there's been a ton of value. So thank you so much for your time. And thank you, 1 Million Cups.
Thank you, Talmar. We love having you. Thank you for coming every week and participating. We love our community. So Tony, if you want to go to the next slide. And Tony, if you want to speak to who's coming next week and what that looks like, that would be great.
Okay, so next week we have Ask Ash or Ashley Schuler Ashley Schuler Strategies Group. She is a solopreneur consultant that helps you in launching your individual business, getting started with the first step out the door. She's got a great personality. She's, I believe Dronell can confirm this, is a veteran and just is really there to help people who have a great idea but don't know how to get started. And we're still forming her challenge question, but I think it's going to be one that this group is going to jump all over because what she's really concerned with is her messaging and the concept behind how to really compel someone to sit there and reach out for help instead of just trying to sit there and go on their own. So it should be a good time.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. And we have a lot of folks lined up to present this month. We are looking for people further out. So if you have folks that have a challenge question, it could be messaging, it could be marketing, it could be all kinds of from an idea to their business has been around for 5 years, but now they're thinking about pivoting while they're during this kind of crazy pandemic time. Those are all great referrals for the group. Just send them to 1millioncups.com/Fairfax. So we do have a couple of applicants in the pipeline, so we're working to schedule them. But please share this and let people know that the organizers help every presenter every week get ready and get the most out of the presentation. This is free. We do all of this volunteer. It's because we believe in small business and we know they make the difference. So please share our message, let people know that we're here as a resource. Does anybody have events coming up that they want to share? Please drop them in chat or raise your hand. I see all these hands being raised. Teresa Wade, go ahead. You and Tom are tied, but I'm going to give it to you first. Go ahead.
So I was typing, but since you gave me the option to talk, I'd rather talk. So I'm the managing director for eWomen Network in Northern Virginia, and we have our 11th annual Success Summit coming this Tuesday. It's an all-day event, so it's for networking, education, connections, and we're an organization that kind of like 1 Million Cups. We help business owners grow their businesses by connecting them with the power partners that they need to create, connections that'll turn into transactions and ultimately grow their business. So I'll drop the link. So if anyone wants to register, I know a few people in the room are coming, so it would be great. As of right now, we have people from 2 countries and 5 states attending. So it'll be
awesome.
A great day.
I can't wait to attend. Super excited. Talmar.
Actually, my event was Teresa's event, and I dropped the link in there already. I will be at the Success Summit on July 7th, and I'm looking forward to it, and I invite everyone to attend.
Thank you. Hey, Russ, do you want to share your event?
So this Friday, my friend Gene Hembrick is hosting a webinar about protecting your intellectual property. It's being hosted through the Chamber of Commerce, cfcc.org. I post the link on there, and she'll help you overcome the intellectual property law and copyright patents, stuff that go along with that. It's Friday from 12 to 1 o'clock, and I included the link in the chats.
Awesome. Thank you, Russ. Rosemary, if you can share yours.
I put the link in the chat already, but there's still time to sign up for today's weekly webinar for Gravitate. I will happily show you why we love powering our 1 Million Cups organizers here and how that power can be used to help you grow your business. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We are huge fans of Gravitate. Do check it out. Any other events coming up that anybody wants to share? All right, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you everybody for being so engaged, providing such great feedback. Do ping Talmar, connect with her on LinkedIn, continue to give her ideas and feedback, even if it's 3 days from now and you have an epiphany, shoot her an email. She would love that feedback. Thanks Talmar for presenting. Anybody else in our community, you're always welcome to present too, and we would love to have you. So again, just remember 1millioncups.com.
Great job, Talbot.